Here are the stories we're covering this week in the Category 5.tv newsroom. A ransomware strike took down 23 government agencies in Texas. Walmart is suing Tesla's energy division after solar panels on 7 of its stores caught fire. Researchers have found 85 Google Play apps with more than 8 million combined downloads that forced users to view full-screen ads. Mario Kart Tour was supposed to be available in March 2019 until Nintendo delayed its release to give it a bit more polish. Now the gaming giant is finally ready to roll out and has announced an official launch date. These stories are coming right up. Don't go anywhere.
This is the Category 5.tv newsroom, covering the week's top tech stories with a slight Linux bias.
I'm Sasha Rickman, and here are the top stories we're following this week. A ransomware strike took down 23 government agencies in Texas. Early on August 16th, a total of 23 local government organizations in Texas were hit by a coordinated ransomware attack. The type of ransomware has not been revealed, and Texas officials asserted that no state networks were compromised in the attack. A spokesman for the Texas Department of Information Resources, or TDIR, said authorities are not ready to reveal the names of the entities affected, nor other details of the attack. State and federal agencies are in the midst of a response, and TDIR did not have information on whether any of the affected governmental organizations had chosen to pay the ransom. But the TDIR did reveal that the ransomware came from a single source, saying, quote, "At this time, the evidence gathered indicates the attacks came from one single threat actor. Investigations into the origin of this attack are ongoing. However, response and recovery are the priority at this time." End quote. Response teams from the TDIR, the Texas Division of Emergency Management, Texas Military Department, Department of Public Safety, and the Texas A&M University System Security Operations Center and Critical Incident Response Team have all been involved in the effort to bring systems back online, as federal officials from the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, FEMA, and other agencies. It's been a bad year for American cities facing ransomware attack. Baltimore is still in the process of recovering, just sending out its first water bill since May and facing $18 million in direct cost and lost revenue. Elsewhere, 2 Florida cities paid out a total amounting to about $1 million worth of cryptocurrency to regain their data. The Texas attacks are the largest coordinated ransomware attacks seen against multiple local governments, but they're not necessarily the first coordinated attacks. 3 school districts in northern Louisiana were hit by ransomware in a single incident in July. It's not clear if the districts shared any network infrastructure.
My goodness. Wasn't there like I don't know if it's just the movies that I watch, but isn't it like We Do Not Bow to Terrorism? Like, is that not...
Until the terrorists have all of your stuff.
But it's like they just paid $1 million to random hackers. And the thing is, you can call it targeted, maybe it is, but realistically, ransomware 10 times out of 9 is not
targeted.
It's just they find exploits and then they exploit it. So how is it targeted in a government institution? Usually how it works is that the actual human... Well, no, it starts with a script. The scripts look for exploits on the web. So these are unpatched Windows systems, routers that have default passwords, things like that. Once it finds one, it then tries to compromise, and it will notify the person who's attacking, the individual, hey, I found one. Here's the credentials, you can log in. They'll log in, and then they'll figure out, hey, they have 200 computers, or they have 10,000 computers. Oh, look at this. I'm into the school board. So what do? They then sell that information, that login information. Well, sometimes they'll install a couple things first to make sure that they have guaranteed their access, right? Just so that you don't make it too easy for them to patch it. And then they sell it on the dark web. Like, let's sell that information. So is it targeted? Well, kind of, but it started with you have unpatched systems. And then it became targeted when they realized what they had found, what they had been able to compromise, and then sell it to the next highest bidder. And then that bidder is the one who says, okay, I'm going to try to make $1 million. I'm going to encrypt all these files over the weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it seems to be like the new norm.
We kind of started to fall into complacency there for about 6 months, leading up to about 3 weeks ago. I mean, unless you're in the States, you know, working for the government, it's really, it had tapered off for a while. It was really bad 2017, 2018. 2019 has not seen as much, like, it seems like it has tapered off. Maybe people have gotten wise and patched their systems, and so maybe that. But now more exploits come out. We've talked about, hey, patch your systems, because Microsoft has already revealed that there are newly found exploits that are in the wild that can be compromised. So, hey, if they didn't patch their systems, call it targeted if you want. It's not targeted. They're just not patched.
Right.
So, but that said, okay, so we fell into complacency thinking, hey, things have tapered off. No, now it's back on the rise again. We're seeing multiple ransomware attacks, even in small communities, every single week. And that's a really dangerous thing.
And the truth of the matter is, when you're desperate, you're going to end up paying the ransom. Like, you're desperate.
I hope not.
I hope not too, but at the same time, if all of my business was based on the fact that I needed access to that information.
Yeah. And there's another side to this where you're naming off all these agencies that are working with them to recover. And I just went through a ransomware attack, and it's like, where are these agencies to help me? I didn't personally. One of my customers did.
Right.
And it was up to me to remedy it for them. Well, they didn't pay the ransom. They paid my hourly wage, and that's...
Which was less than the ransom.
It was less than the ransom, but still a hefty fine.
Right.
But the fact is that, you know, that was my burden, my stress to deal with it throughout the process, because backups were not what they should have been, and so on. So, but they've got these massive industries that will come in and help them recover.
Right.
But we can't get backwards, and you can't pay these folks.
I know.
It's a really hard thing. Look for volume shadow copies if you ever get hit. Another thing that's really interesting, not to take too much time, I know you want to move on, but if I can give you one tip, this is a really interesting fact. And as soon as I say it, I think that the malicious parties that are watching are going to be, oh, we need to fix that. Volume shadow copies are like copies of your files that you can revert to the previous version on Windows.
Okay.
Very, very handy if you have them and you need to go back in time. So if you have volume shadow copies and you get hacked or hit by ransomware, sometimes, well, if you have a volume shadow copy, you can go back to the previous version of the file, and you can do it on a whole drive. So you can just undo the damage, just like that. But these days, the malicious parties are getting smart, and they're removing the volume shadow copies from the computer. This particular instance, the hacker, whoever coded it, only removed volume shadow copies from C, from the C drive. So the interesting fact about that is if your system drive or your data drive is not C in Windows, like if it was D or Z or P or whatever,
you'd still have it.
You may have still had the volume shadow copies. The data would have still been encrypted, but they didn't think to delete the volume shadow copies from any drive other than C.
Right.
Now that's only the case of the particular malware that I was dealing with. That was a really stupid bonehead mistake on the part of the hacker, but it gave me an opportunity to restore some of the networking because there were volume shadow copies of the mounted volumes.
Right.
Right. So it was a whole different scenario. So watch out for that. Volume shadow copies could be your friend. That's for sure.
Walmart is suing Tesla's energy division after solar panels on 7 of its stores caught fire. Walmart's legal team alleged that the firm was negligent in how it installed the panels on the roofs of the stores. Court documents describe a string of fires that occurred between 2012 and 2018 at Walmart locations in Ohio, Maryland, and California. The first fire occurred at a Walmart store in Long Beach, California in 2012. Another in Beaver Creek, Ohio in March 2018 saw customers evacuated and the store closed for 8 days. The court documents say, quote, to state the obvious, properly designed, installed, inspected, and maintained solar systems do not spontaneously combust, end quote. Walmart is asking Tesla to remove solar panels from all of its stores and to pay damages. Tesla's share price fell on news of the Walmart lawsuit, which was filed in the New York State Supreme Court last Tuesday.
That is such a crying shame. It puts a real negative spin on solar panels, doesn't it? Because
right. And
now I'm thinking of putting solar panels on the roof of the house, and it's like, I don't want my house to catch fire.
I don't think solar panels are that dangerous. I mean, I realize that maybe Tesla had 7 stores with solar panels catch fire, and I realize that that's a tragedy, and being closed for 8 days is bad, and I don't want to diminish the fact that I'm sure that there was damage. I think that the pros outweigh the cons as far as solar panels go.
These things can't, like this, how long, I want to know, how long were they installed for?
Right.
That's, I guess, the question, the burning question. Because in the statement from Walmart, they said properly maintained. Well, were you properly maintaining it?
Right.
I know customers who say they've been properly maintaining their server, and they're using an EOL version of server.
Right.
Like,
could lightning have hit it? Could that have been the case?
I don't know.
7
You'd think they'd have a lightning tower or some tree nearby that's a bit taller than the building.
I would like to know how many stores Tesla has solar panels on. Because 7 stores doesn't seem like a huge number. It feels...
Yeah, was it just a trial? Like, were there 8 stores and 7 of them caught on fire?
Right.
Or was it millions of stores?
Yeah. See, my neighbor 2 doors down has solar panels all over their entire roof. Their entire roof.
And
they
it's
don't
never
look
been a
scared.
problem.
It doesn't look like it's going to burn. I'm not scared. They're not scared. I feel like this story is weird to me because...
Yes. This is what I'm feeling. Like, is this our advantage at Category 5 TV, that we can have this conversation in the news and say, is media hyping this? Is media making it sound like this is a bigger deal than it is, and it's affecting stocks of Tesla, who are like making a world of difference?
Yeah, Tesla is trying really, really hard.
Really
guys.
hard.
Well, I'm not going to even go there, but I feel like stop picking on Tesla.
And this is the fact. They're not giving all the facts. They're not giving you all the details. They're not saying, okay, there were actually 2,000 stores. There were actually, these ones, they decided to have a local company install them instead of Tesla.
Right.
We don't know these things. Were they official installers?
The state of the roof
were they
was
maintained?
in disrepair.
Yeah.
Or, it could be anything. Maybe it was a flat roof and it flooded a bit and it shorted something out.
Was it sabotage?
Right?
All these things. So let's not lose hope in the technology. And the fact that this can make a whole world of good for like emissions.
Right.
Hey, we can tap into the sun.
It
makes us juice.
About green power, like wind, sun, anything you can do to make it so that you're not just digging up fossil fuels and burning them.
Yeah, we spoke with Anusha Askuyan about her technology at her company, Ship and Shore Environmental. And in that discussion, she mentioned how they can convert emissions into the heat for the building and water heating and things like that. How cool is that? And now, okay, so solar panels, we can power things.
Right.
We can generate heat. We can heat the pool. We can heat the water that you're using to wash your hands and have a shower. Right. Like, these are all things that can be done through just the sun. So, don't lose hope. Don't let media hype it.
Don't listen to this story.
Listen to the conversation after, where we put it straight.
Exactly.
Yes, and comment below and tell us
how right we are.
How right we are. I would really appreciate that. Just once in a while, YouTube, just tell us how right we are.
We are right, and you agree. Okay. Researchers have found 85 Google Play apps with more than 8 million combined downloads that forced users to view full-screen ads. The apps, which posed as photography and gaming programs, contained a family of adware that was highly disruptive to end users. Once installed, the apps displayed ads in full screen, a setting that forced users to view the entire duration of an ad before being able to close the window or to get back into the app. The apps showed an ad every 5 minutes, but the people operating the platform had the ability to remotely change the frequency. The adware used several tricks to evade detection and removal. A half an hour after being installed, for instance, an app would hide its icon and create a shortcut on the device home screen. Hiding the icon prevented the apps from being uninstalled by dragging and dropping the icon to the uninstall section of the device screen. Android 8 and later versions require user confirmation before an app can create a shortcut, but even if users of these versions didn't agree, the icon would nonetheless remain hidden. Trend Micro, who made the discovery, privately reported the apps to Google, and Google then removed the apps from Play. So,
okay.
Good they were removed.
Yeah, and I did hear as well that some of these apps were objectionable. So the problem with that is like, okay, my kids use the phone all the time.
Right.
They install apps. You know, we let them install games and stuff, and only the free ones. Right? Mm-hmm. And you have a certain amount of trust. And we do have a certain amount of trust in Google Play and the App Store, and trust that, hey, these things have been tested for any kind of malware, and they do get through the cracks sometimes because hackers are clever.
That is
Advertisers are clever. They're getting paid for it's not free.
That is tricky business, hiding the icon. You know how many times I've had like immediate
I hate
remorse?
that.
I download an app and I'm like, what have I done? Uninstall. How horrible. Like usually.
How do I remove the LG stuff? All the garbage that it comes with.
I know. How horrible would it be if then you couldn't remove it at all, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or you don't even see it, so you don't even know it's running in the background. It's not even there.
Oh,
it's hidden.
That's dirty, guys. Don't be doing that.
Yeah.
Mario Kart Tour was supposed to be available in March 2019 until Nintendo delayed its release to give it a bit more polish. And now the gaming giant is finally ready to roll out and has announced an official launch date. The Mario Kart Tour website even shows that pre-registrations are now open for both Android and iOS users, so they can be notified as soon as the game is ready to download. But the official word is Mario Kart Tour will be available on your smartphone September 25th. The game is free to start, which means players will have to decide whether to spend money on microtransactions to unlock features and perhaps even characters. Nintendo has promised to release more details about the game as its release date approaches.
And some people give a hard time to Nintendo over like this freemium model. Right? But anyone who owns a Nintendo Switch, like you already know that like that's the way Nintendo has been for some time.
Right.
It's like, hey, yeah, we'll let you play for free, but if you want to tap into... My daughter was concerned today because she had accidentally spawned about 1 billion sheep in her Minecraft world, and it was crashing, and she couldn't get back in and everything. She's like, I don't have a Nintendo account, so I can't back it up. Oh, you got to pay $50 for that Nintendo account, right?
Right.
So it's like the infrastructure's already there. That's how they do things, and it makes sense.
Well, you have to make money.
Yes.
So you have to pay.
But I guess phone users are not really used to that model. Like the PlayStation Online, yeah, you're used to it.
Yeah.
Nintendo, is it called Nintendo Online, I think? You're used to it.
So if I were to give a child my phone, how easy is it to actually do these microtransactions?
That's the thing, yeah. Oh,
right?
Did I ever tell you how that happened when I first got a Android TV set-top box?
No.
You log into your Google account.
Okay.
And your Google account is associated with your credit card.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got notifications. I'm sitting at my desk, and I kept getting... My phone was buzzing in my pocket, and I pulled it out, and it was like email after email. $1, $1, $1, $1, $1, $500 plus.
Who was that?
And so I called Becca, my wife, and I said, turn off the TV, whatever. And she's like, but Zach, my son is playing a game. I said, turn it off now. It was just racking up. He apparently was sitting there in some race car game where you can like push the button over and over and over again to increase your power of the car or something. And it's taken $1 at a time to do this.
Oh my goodness. I hope he won that race.
They were great about it. Amazon, because I think this was actually an Amazon. No, it was. It wasn't Google. It was an Amazon Fire Stick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how it happened. It was my Amazon account. So I contacted Amazon. They reversed it. It was no problem. But it was a real learning experience. So then I started adding my password to every device that I share with the kids.
Right.
You've got to do it.
So parents.
Yeah.
With this new game, right? Like
you want to watch out for that.
You'll for sure want to.
Pokephone F1s, I love it. Has second space. So I have my own profile for everything, and then I have a second one that has just the games for the kids. And I use that profile when I do, now I use it when I do demonstrations on the air. Oh, okay. Because then if my wife messages me and it pops up like private messages, it doesn't show up on the air, which we've had happen before.
Right.
All her romantic messages as we're on the air. So that's a cool feature. So turn on the password protection anyway, should protect you. I want to take a quick look at our cryptocurrency market as of 1800 hours, Wednesday, August 28th, 2019. Bitcoin is down quite a bit, $405, down to $9,676.28. Facebook Libra is holding steady at zero.
That's
because
right.
It's not actually trading yet, but one day we're going to find that it is trading, and that will be exciting. Litecoin is also down. Everything's down this week. $66.40 is the fiat value of that in US dollars. Ethereum is down at 172.01, Monero at 72.13, Turtlecoin is at 0.49 ten-thousandths of a cent, and another coin that has lost a lot, we've called it Stellite. And then they changed their name to Torque. And then they were doing quite well. And this week, they've lost another 0.56 ten-thousandths of a cent. So they basically cut the coin in half. And are you ready for this? They've changed their name again.
Oh, goodness.
I don't know what they're doing, but Scala is the name of the coin
They're the
now.
Cryptocurrency formerly known as...
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So you go to Stellite and it says it's now called Torque. And then you go to Torque and it's now called Scala.
Scala?
But Torque was doing really well, and then Scala is now, I don't know if people have lost confidence in it because, and you know what? It could also be, it's a pain in the butt when they change their coin so much.
Right.
Because if I'm crypto mining, I have to reinstall and reconfigure everything and install the new crypto miner, install the new wallets and everything. It's like, oh, you know what? I'm just moving on to a different coin. Turtle coin has been pretty stable, and it's another micro coin.
They should have kept it at Torque. That's a solid name.
I think it's just another case of they probably found a company that said, we already own that trademark. Maybe they should start Googling the names that they come up with. I got an idea. Let's call it Tesla.
Right. Yeah.
And that's your coin. So.
I can tell you, I will put money on the fact that when the Facebook Libre, it'll have to gain its first week. You can't go below
it's
zero.
Going up.
It's going to go up first
folks.
week whenever it happens.
Yep. So invest now. Oh wait, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big thanks to Roy W. Nash and our community of viewers for submitting stories to us this week. Thanks for watching the Category 5.tv newsroom. Don't forget to like and subscribe for all your tech news with a slight Linux bias. And for more free content, be sure to check out our website. From the Category 5.tv newsroom, I'm Sasha Rickman.
And I'm Robbie Ferguson.